Teslas are getting more and more popular each day, and as such, there are more questions than ever from new customers. Compared to most automakers, Tesla does things a lot differently, so it can sometimes be a bit confusing as to what the car actually includes, what upgrades you might want, what the buying process is like, how much insurance costs, and much more. Today, I'm going to do my best to answer all of the questions you may have as a new Tesla buyer, so let's get into it, and a special thanks to Recurrent for sponsoring a portion of this video. Recently, I had a couple of friends reach out asking about the Tesla buying process, and it inspired me to make this video. Tesla doesn't advertise much, and their website isn't always clear about everything, so hopefully this can be a helpful FAQ. First up, what's the difference between a custom-ordered and inventory Tesla? Tesla's website varies depending on what their demand is like at any given time, but usually for available cars, the homepage will say Explore Inventory and Custom Order. Explore Inventory brings you to a page of all Teslas that are ready to be delivered soon. You can see where they're available. Sometimes they will have mileage on them if they're a demo vehicle, and sometimes they will have their price decreased as well. The main thing here is that you have to find a car that satisfies the options you want and is immediately available. It's more like seeing the cars available at a dealership. A custom order Tesla is one you configure entirely yourself, and it's made to order. For example, in the US for the Model Y, you choose the spec, rear-wheel drive, long range or performance, choose the paint color, choose the wheels, add a tow hitch or not, choose the interior color, choose 5 or 7 seats if it's long range, choose an Autopilot upgrade package, which we'll detail in question 3, and then choose what charging equipment you want if you need it. From there, Tesla will estimate your delivery since your car will be added to the queue of vehicles coming out of their factory. Right now, they say November to December estimated delivery. At other times of the year, that wait can be a bit longer. With custom order, you get exactly what you want, but you usually have to wait. Sometimes, though, Tesla will let you know that an inventory vehicle near you matches your configuration. In that case, you'll be able to get exactly what you want very soon. Worth noting as well, this is the process of buying a Tesla from Tesla. You can't go to a Tesla dealership, look at the car, and drive it off the lot that day. Number 2, how accurate is the range estimate? Short answer, not very accurate. The EPA estimates a Model Y long range getting a 330-mile range. That sounds great, but in the real world, you're rarely going to achieve this. The EPA tests vehicles in a laboratory at room temperature without exceeding 60 miles per hour. In practice, this means that no EV gets its promised range, but Teslas are known for this in particular. Inside EVs does a 70-mile-per-hour real-world range test with all EVs that they test, and in 2020, their results showed a long-range Model Y, then quoted at a 316-mile EPA range, getting 276 miles of range. That's in the real world at 70 miles per hour, and this can drop further when driving faster or driving in colder climates. Generally, they see a 12% difference between the EPA's estimate and the real-world range of a Tesla. Other studies with real customer data have shown even more drastic differences depending on temperature. We don't know the driving habits of all of these customers studied here, but essentially the answer here is don't rely on the EPA's range number. If you need to drive around the EPA's promised range in a day, plan to charge at a supercharger. On screen as well, Tesla's range estimate is based off of the EPA's estimate, so I recommend switching this to percentage and only paying attention to range estimates given in Maps and the Energy app in your Tesla. These places actually factor in other things that affect range, whereas the main screen is based on the EPA, which we know is not accurate. Next up is a question that I find to be pretty important because it comprises a feature that Tesla sells, but also plans to improve a lot in the future. What self-driving features does Tesla sell? There are 3 levels of self-driving features that Tesla ships today: Basic Autopilot, Enhanced Autopilot, and Full Self-Driving Capability. The first thing to note right off the bat here is that every single Tesla sold today comes with Tesla's Basic Autopilot system. If you buy the literal cheapest possible Tesla vehicle directly from Tesla new today, it will come with their Basic Autopilot system. This system uses the cameras around the car and the FSD computer to enable autopilot safety features first. These are automatic emergency braking, forward collision warning, side collision warning, obstacle-aware acceleration, blind spot monitoring, lane departure avoidance, and emergency lane departure avoidance. On top of that, though, it delivers traffic-aware cruise control and auto steer. Traffic-aware cruise control is an advanced cruise control which keeps the speed you set but also brakes and accelerates for you to keep with the flow of traffic. Auto steer will take that and then steer for you on most well-marked roads. On freeways, it can do so up to 85 miles per hour. So in practice, this means that you get yourself onto the freeway, find the lane that you want, enter autopilot, and it can drive for you for quite a while. Your attention is required and confirmed with required steering wheel nudges, and then you have to handle lane changes or anything else yourself. Again, everything I just detailed comes standard with every Tesla. In my opinion, it's plenty for the majority of customers. It's the system I use all the time, and I love using it on long road trips or just long stretches of freeway. It's not perfect, and you'll find the situations you don't want to use it in, but it's overall great. Up from there, Enhanced Autopilot is a $6,000 upgrade that Tesla sells on top of this. It adds the features Navigate on Autopilot, Auto Lane Change, Auto Park, Summon, and Smart Summon. Tesla says this of Navigate on Autopilot. Automatic driving from highway on-ramp to off-ramp includes automatic lane changes, traffic-aware cruise control with complete stopping and re-engagement, auto steer, and overtaking slow cars in your lane. It will do all of these things, but with lots of caution and some error. Auto lane change is somewhat the self-initiated version of this. While in Autopilot, you simply signal which way you want to change lanes, the car waits until it's safe, and changes lanes for you. On long drives, this means that you can stay in basic Autopilot for longer. I personally like this feature a lot. Auto Park will parallel and perpendicular park, and this has mixed reliability in my experience and the experience of others. I personally never use it. Normal Summon will let you pull your car forward or backwards from the app, and then Smart Summon, in theory, will come and find you in a parking lot. In practice, though, this fails a lot and has led to Elon Musk saying that in the future, they'll make actually Smart Summon. Next, full self-driving capability is a $12,000 upgrade that takes all of those functions and adds auto steer on city streets and traffic light and stop sign control. Essentially, it can drive for you in almost any situation, but it requires very active monitoring and is guaranteed to fail on you. The caveat, though, is that Tesla is constantly improving this, and what you get with this upgrade is every update this system gets in perpetuity. Elon Musk promises a lot here, but it always seems to be delayed. In my opinion, basic Autopilot is plenty for most people, and you can save your money. However, there are two other things to consider if you are still interested in these upgrades. One, these are simply software-based upgrades. Every single Tesla shipped today comes with the exact same self-driving hardware, so upgrading packages comes strictly in the form of a software package, contrary to how Tesla's website can make it seem. Here they list the FSD computer as an included feature of the FSD package, but that computer comes in a Tesla regardless. It's just not being fully utilized unless you get the FSD capability. The fact that they are software upgrades means that you can buy them whenever through the Tesla app. You pay in the app and it adds to your car within minutes. The price does change periodically, but the most recent change was Tesla dropping FSD by $3,000. On top of this, there's a subscription option. Enhanced Autopilot is $99 a month, and FSD is $199 a month. When doing the math on how long you are keeping this car, this could be less expensive over the long haul, even as a monthly subscription. Lastly, if you use someone's referral link to buy this car, which you should, you get 6 months of free supercharging and a free 3-month trial of FSD. I think the best move there would be to buy the car with basic Autopilot, try FSD for 3 months, compare it to normal auto steer, and then take it from there. My link is below, but any Tesla referral link gets the same deal. Number 4, which Tesla should I buy? For most customers, this question will be between a Model 3 or Y. If you have the money, the Model S and X are Tesla's flagship vehicles, but I tend to think the Model 3 and Y are a better deal overall. The Model 3 and Y are essentially the same basic car, but the Y is larger. If you are fine with a small car with a normal trunk that has a lot of space within it, the Model 3 may serve you best. If you need more room, want a hatchback, or generally want to sit higher, the Model Y may serve you best. Just note that since it's larger, it doesn't get quite as much range as the Model 3. From there comes the question of getting standard or long range, and this will depend on your daily needs. If you frequently drive long distances, over 200 miles or so, or don't have the easiest charging setup, long range might be smartest so that you have a buffer. If you don't drive too long of distances, or are able to easily charge up at home each night, standard range might be the smartest. You'll have plenty of range and recharge options, and save money in the process. Selling an electric car is not normally an enjoyable experience, at least it's not how I like to spend my weekends. On top of that, I've found that most dealerships grade electric cars on outdated combustion engine standards like odometer. A car might have more miles, but mileage does not necessarily equal battery health. That's why when it was time to sell my 2018 Tesla Model 3, I tried Recurrent. Recurrent's team of battery scientists compares one EV's battery and range to thousands of others to get offers from dealerships that place a premium on cars with good batteries. On Recurrent's site, I entered some some basic info about my 2018 Model 3 mid-range, and their estimate was a little over $25,000, which included a $700 good battery premium. So I entered my contact info and they got started on collecting offers. While that was happening, I went to a few other national sites to check their offers. The first site thought my car was long range based on my VIN and still only offered me $22,000. After entering all details on another site, I found out they weren't even buying Teslas, and the last site's estimate was $24,000, closer to Recurrent's estimate, but I'd have to go negotiate with dealerships to get that. Recurrent got back to me with several offers for my Model 3, and the best offer was from an EV specialist in the Bay Area called Ever Cars. They offered $26,000 to $29,000 based on a virtual inspection, then came to my house to pick it up. Overall, it was great. I got a better price and found a dealer I wouldn't have found otherwise. If it's time for you to sell your EV, click the link in the description below to sell with Recurrent. I think you'll be glad that you did. How long does it take to charge a Tesla? The short answer, usually you won't be concerned with it. I say this because charging an EV comes with a different mindset than filling up with gas and can't be compared apples to apples. That's because there are a variety of ways to charge. I'll break them down from fastest to slowest right now, and as an owner, you'll likely use a combination of these. It won't simply be that you replace gasoline stops with charging stops. Depending on your situation as well, the slowest charging may only actually use 10 seconds of your own time. There are 3 EV charging levels. To start on the fast charging side of things, let's look at level 3 or DC fast charging. Tesla says you can recharge up to 200 miles of range in 15 minutes, but that involves a few estimates. In reality, it's a bit more complicated because batteries vary in how they receive charge. In 2021, Inside EVs charged a Tesla Model 3 at a V3 supercharger. These are currently Tesla's fastest and most common chargers. They detailed each increment here and totaled the time as they went, showing they got to 10% in 4 minutes, 20% in 6 minutes, 30% in 9 minutes, 40% in 13, 50 in 16, 60 in 21, 70 in 26, and 80 in 32. Right here is where you'll see things slow down, and that's because lithium-ion batteries don't charge as fast above 80%. There's a charging curve that you can see here. They got to 90% in 42 minutes and 100% in 63 minutes. Some may take this to mean it takes 63 minutes every time I fill up my car, but in practice this is hardly practical because of the different mentality that goes with it. It's best to charge most Teslas to 80% each day. It's best for battery health and for charging speed, so on a road trip you'll actually charge up as much as you need to reach your next stop and take it from there. Another test saw 80% taking 36 minutes and 15 seconds, and 100% taking 1 hour and 5 minutes. In practice for a road trip, this means plugging in, using the restroom, getting some food, then maybe sitting for a few minutes to get what you need to continue your journey. It will add some time on long road trips, but I personally think you only feel it on very long journeys. Then there are level 2 chargers. These are 240 volts and encompass many installed public chargers and home chargers. This is the charger that most Tesla owners should install in their home if they are able. The Tesla wall connector can charge up to 44 miles of range per hour, meaning around a 7.5 hour charge to get from 0 to 100%. That sounds like a lot of hours, but consider the fact that your car starts charging during off-peak hours, usually around 9 p.m. for most owners. Even going from 0 to 100%, which will be rare, this will be ready for you by 4:30 a.m. each morning. This is my experience about 95% of the time. I get home, plug in, and my Tesla is good to go the next morning. I spend about 10 seconds plugging in and nothing more, so it was quicker than gas. To me, this more than makes up for the extra few minutes I spend at superchargers on road trips. Public chargers that are these speeds typically have around a 4-hour limit, so they are more to top you off. Maybe you get from 40 to 80% while you're shopping or at work. Again, mindset change. Instead of filling up your tank all the way, you just plug in more often. From there are level 1 chargers. This is a standard 120 volt wall outlet. In some ways it charges slower and faster than you may expect. A Tesla mobile connector with the 120 volt outlet will get you 3 miles of range per hour. For a Model Y, that means getting from 0 to 100% in about 110 hours. Of course, that's a very long time, but again, it can be something that helps you top off. Or if you find yourself at a destination for a few days with minimal driving, it may turn out to be all that you need. For most drivers though, driving more than 40 or 50 miles a day, a level 2 charger at home will be necessary. Then if you can't charge at home at all, you'll be using public chargers and superchargers. That's the case where it would add time to your life. What home charger do I install? I'll detail these from least to most expensive. The least expensive option is to buy Tesla's mobile connector and use a standard 120 volt outlet. If you can live off of that range I just detailed, that's the cheapest and will only cost you $230 for the mobile connector. Then, if you're lucky enough to already have a NEMA 1450 plug near your garage, buy Tesla's mobile connector with the NEMA 1450 plug for $230 and you're good to go. This charges up to 30 miles an hour, meaning 0 to 100% in 11 hours. For most, this is still more than fast enough. Up from there is a splitter with Tesla's mobile connector and NEMA 1450 adapter. If you already have a dryer plug that is near where you charge, this is quite handy. I used this splitter from SplitVolt for a few years and it was great. First, make sure you have the right splitter type. Then you plug this into your dryer plug and plug your dryer and Tesla mobile connector into this. It automatically, safely switches the EV charger off in favor of the dryer when in use, then switches back to the Tesla. I like this option if available for you because it doesn't require an electrician to install it. From there, you can use that NEMA 1450 plug with the mobile connector I mentioned earlier, but have this plug installed as needed. It's a fairly standard plug, so it's usually cheaper than hardwiring. Then there's the official hardwired charger install. Tesla sells their wall connector for $475, and there are many third-party EV chargers out there that match its speed. This requires installation from an electrician, but gets the fastest speed at 44 miles of range per hour of charge. The main considerations here are how close your electric panel is to where you plan to charge and how much room your panel has. In the best scenario, this is close by and your panel has room. In the expensive scenario, you need to upgrade your electric panel and it's located far from where you plan to charge. This is where the install of a home charger gets expensive. I currently use a Tesla wall connector, but honestly would be just fine with the mobile connector on NEMA 1450. How much does insurance cost for a Tesla? First off, this varies based on a range of factors: age, location, driving history, and insurance company, but let's check out averages. Sometimes Teslas are a bit more to insure than many are used to, since it's often the most expensive vehicle people have purchased. It's definitely a consideration to not forget when deciding to buy. Also, Tesla offers their own insurance in a variety of states and usually has the best rates. That's by design. Across the board though, according to Forbes, the average insurance premium for a 30-year-old Model Y owner is $2,648. This works out to $220.66 per month. The most expensive state is California and the cheapest is Vermont. On average, the cheapest are Nationwide, USAA, and Erie. Nationwide on average insures a Model Y for $1,602 per year or $133.50 per month. Then it goes up from there, as you can see on Forbes' chart. What they don't include is Tesla insurance, which is available in 12 US states. According to Value Penguin, the average quote for Tesla insurance is $187. Interestingly, with Tesla insurance in Texas that uses a real-time safety score, the average monthly rate ranges from $74 to $99 depending on your safety score, between 80 and 100. So there are exceptions. The only way to truly know for yourself, though, will be to get a quote. How much does charging cost? Per usual, this comes in a few forms. We already talked about the different types of charging, and each comes at a different cost. On the free side, many public chargers are free, and if you buy today with a referral link, superchargers will be free for 6 months. Without that though, you'll be subject to your utility rate and Tesla's rates for charging. Many electric companies have a specific plan for EVs that lowers your rates during off-peak hours. For example, I'm in California, one of the most expensive states for electricity, and my time of use prime plan charges me 23 cents per kilowatt hour in the hours I charge. A Model Y battery pack averages around 75 kilowatt hours of usable energy, so a 0 to 100% charge will cost me about $17.25. In the real world, I expect that would get me around 250 miles of range. In most other states as well, this is far cheaper, meaning owners can drive 250 miles for less than $10. This is often where the biggest savings comes for Tesla owners. For comparison, a Lexus RX gets 23 miles per gallon on average according to the EPA. As such, we need to compare this to the 330-mile EPA range for the Model Y. Gas prices near me are around $5.40 today, and it would take me 14.34 gallons to drive 330 miles in a Lexus RX, according to the EPA, which would run me about $77.47. Of course, this isn't a perfect comparison, but it looks like this. Home charging, $17.25, gas, $77.47. I would encourage you to look into this for yourself, comparing your utility rates and gas prices in your neighborhood. From there are supercharger costs. These are more expensive since they are fast chargers and are usually designed to be used during road trips. Their costs also vary depending on the area, much like gasoline. A supercharger near me has rates that vary depending on peak hours. The lowest is 28 cents per kilowatt hour, almost in line with my electric company, which is pretty crazy, and the highest is 49 cents per kilowatt hour. For a full charge, that means $21 to $36.75. Again, comparing to $77.47 with gas. I scrolled all around the country from there and saw rates at 25 cents, 40 cents, 36 cents, 33 cents, and so on, so I think this is a fairly accurate range. Again though, you'll most likely be looking at a mix of supercharging and home charging, falling somewhere in the middle of these ranges. One thing to keep in mind for supercharging though is idle fees. Once your Tesla is done charging, you are expected to move your car so that another vehicle can charge. If you're at a busy station, this actually causes an issue and delays other drivers' plans, so Tesla charges idle fees at full superchargers for waiting while not charging. You can see them listed on those same rate sheets for each station, and it's usually $1 per minute. The first offense is usually waived by Tesla, but if you were to do this regularly, this would cost a lot. What is the Tesla buying process like? While completely different from buying at a dealership, most will find the Tesla buying process very nice and easy. You order online, and once ordered, your pricing is locked in. There's no dealer markup or anything that you'll face at delivery. The app walks you through all necessary steps, paperwork, payment, and more, and you can apply for financing through Tesla if you like. That can all be handled online, or you can connect with another payment option if you prefer. For third-party financing, Tesla needs you to obtain approval, enter the lien holder details online, and confirm their amount, then coordinate final payment. Quote, "We will provide a signed motor vehicle purchase agreement to you closer to your delivery appointment. You are responsible for securing and submitting the amount financed and any balance due prior to delivery. If you are mailing your payment, you may be asked to provide proof of payment. If asked, submit a picture of the front of the check along with the tracking number in your Tesla account." I've done this process with a credit union. Sometimes it feels a bit stressful, but most credit unions are used to it at this point and can guide you through it. Then Tesla will give you delivery date options. You choose the date and show up. I've had this work in 2 different ways from here. One time it was completely remote. I found the car in the parking lot, accepted delivery within the app, then got in. I stayed around for a little to look over the car, but I could have driven away immediately. The car was mine. Other times a Tesla advisor has met me, shown me the car, walked me through it, and then I accept delivery. There are videos on screen that walk you through everything you need to know about the car, and you are good to go. Comparing this to a dealership experience, it's quite refreshing and takes no time at all. To some, it may be a little too hands-off though. Those are some of the main questions I come across with new Tesla buyers, and then there are plenty to be answered once you have taken delivery. Linked in the description below is a video breaking down everything to know right after you buy, and one of the main things I recommend is getting some accessories to take advantage of your car in the best way possible. I also have full reviews of all of Tesla's cars based on my experience, breaking down all the positives and negatives that you'll face if you're looking to buy a Tesla. I hope this video was helpful for you, and you can check out those videos along with that next steps video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.